All right, let's do our homework. Can you graph any of the 6 with any of the changes that you see? So sine has a wave that has an amplitude. The period is 2 pi divided by 2, which is pi. I can use the scale, or you could change the scale. So I can just use the scale that's here. Sine starts in the middle, and then at pi, which is the end of the period, and then in the middle of that would be a third one. Now, if you want to change the scale, you could, and it would just look a little bit longer. In the middle, it's going to go up to +4 and then down to -4, and then you have your pattern going across. All right, and away we go. Number 2. Tangent has no amplitude. The period starts with pi, and there's nothing inside the function that would change that. B is 1, so dividing by 1 stays pi. Again, I can use what we have here. Tangent starts here with a point of inflection, and at pi is a point of inflection. At 2 pi is a point of inflection. So there's the pattern. In between are going to be asymptotes. Then go back to the first one in the middle. Negative means we're going to go to the right and down 1, and then up to the left 1. So this is what the picture is going to look like, because the negative does a reflection. So it changes the direction that it goes. That's plenty to do, and you have it. Number 3, you should try it first, right? Press pause. So the amplitude here is +1.5, and the period is 2 pi divided by 4, which is pi over 2. I am going to change the scale here, so this is going to be pi over 2, and half of that's pi over 4. Same thing over here. Cosine starts usually at the top because it's negative. It's going to start at -1.5, and then in the middle, and then +1.5, and then back to the middle, and then -1.5, and then follow that pattern. And then draw your wave. Number 4, you should press pause and try it first. There is no amplitude, and the period would be pi divided by, so I'm going to go times the reciprocal, so that would give me 3 pi over 2. So I'm going to change the scale here. This is 3 pi over 2, and if I double it, it's 3 pi, -3 pi over 2, -3 pi. Everything else is good. We're going to start with an asymptote. And then in the middle between those asymptotes are points of inflection at 0. And then the last bit, it's 3. So from the first here, the first asymptote, and to the right, the first point of inflection, it's going to go left and up 3, and then right and down 3. And that's what we're going to curve through. And then keep going. Number 5, amplitude. So there is no amplitude for secant. Period, 2 pi. Now instead of dividing, times the reciprocal, and I get 3 pi over 2 when I simplify it. So I'm going to change this to 3 pi over 2. Half of that is 3 pi over 4. Same thing here. And then go back. Secant starts with the vertex. It's positive, so at 2.5 we have vertex, and then we have asymptote, and it alternates. So we have an upper vertex and -2.5, then +2.5. The upper ones fold up, the lower ones fold down, and you have it. Number 6. There is an amplitude here. It's 2. Again, you should try it first. And then 2 pi divided by 1/2, which is times 2, and you get 4 pi. So I'm going to change this to 4 pi and this to 2 pi. Cosine starts at the top or bottom, so this one's positive, so it starts at 2. And then follow the pattern from there. And there you go. All right, turn the page. Number 7. It's cosine, so it has an amplitude. The period is 2 pi, and it doesn't change. The phase shift's negative pi. There's nothing to divide there. The vertical shift is none. It's 0. So there we already have our midline. So we're going to start here. First of all, the period, so that's all good, the scale. This is where we're going to start. So find where negative pi is. Cosine positive starts at the top. So from negative 4 pi, we're going to start here at the top of the wave. And then follow the pattern. So it goes to the middle, then to the bottom, back to the middle, to the top, back to the middle, to the bottom, and then connect the points and make your wave. All right, I changed this one to make sure you have the new equation here. There's no amplitude. The phase shift's the period is 2 pi divided by 1/2, or times 2, which is 4 pi. The phase shift's negative pi over 2 times 2 again, and that's negative pi. That's where we're going to start. Vertical shift's 1, so that's the midline. So we're going to draw a line at 1. I'm going to change the scale too, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to change this to 4 pi and 2 pi. So we have our scale changed. Our phase shift's at negative pi. So negative pi is like right here, between 0 and negative 2 pi. Secant from the red line. Secant starts with the upper vertex. So from the red line, we're going to go up 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then the next one is an asymptote. And follow that pattern. So upper vertex, asymptote, then a lower vertex. So from the red line, go down 3. And then from the red line, go up 3. And then the lower ones fold down. And the upper ones fold up, and you got it. Perfect. Again, you should try it. 2 more left. No amplitude. The period would start with pi divided by 3. That's it. The phase shift's positive pi divided by 3. That's where it's going to start. Vertical shift, 1 again, so that's y equals 1, so we'll start there. So we start with 1, and then I'll change the scale too on the x to pi over 3. So the first one right here would be pi over 3 and then double it. So negative and then double it. So it's pi over 3, then 2 pi over 3. So at pi over 3, cotangent starts with an asymptote. And then that gives me my pattern, so I know where the asymptotes are. Then once the asymptotes are in, from pi over 3, on the red line in the middle is the point of inflection. Cotangent that's negative goes to the left and goes down. So from the red line, go down 2, and then to the right and go up 2. So this is what it's going to look like. That negative does a reflection. So again, we have here, and so then follow the pattern from the red line. One more. And you got it. All right, last one. You should try it first, right? Press pause. It does have an amplitude of 3. The period, 2 pi times 5, which is 10 pi. The phase shift is negative pi times 5, which is negative 5 pi. Vertical shift is 2, and there's our midline. So the scale should be 10 pi and 5 pi. The midline is at 2, and then go to the phase shift, which is at negative 5 pi right here. So at the phase shift, sine starts at the midline right there in the middle of the wave, and then the next one, because it's negative, the next one's going to go down 3 from the red line, and then back to the middle, and then up 3, back to the middle, down 3, back to the middle, and you have your wave. And that's it. Super proud that you did your work. Mr. GMath over and out. Till next time.